Welcome to the Soulful Ambition podcast. I'm your host, Analisa, Broadway actor turned coach for big dreamers. This is a show about choosing to live inside out, becoming sourced from within, and then acting upon your deepest longings. From starting your dream business to starring on Broadway, from sacred activism to being a radiant, aligned parent and everything in between, we will walk the razor's edge of these two seemingly contradictory words, soulful ambition. This podcast is here to awaken the longing in your chest that is so big it threatens to swallow you whole. Because the manifestation of your true desires is your destined path and the medicine and the magic that the world needs. This is Soulful Ambition. Hello, my beautiful souls. Here we are, another episode of the Soulful Ambition podcast. I'm so honored that you are tuning in today. If you're not subscribed, please hit subscribe or leave us a review if you find this podcast helpful. It is like tips to a podcaster, and it just feels so good to connect and know that your engagement is helping other people find the podcast. I am coming to you from Lafayette, Colorado, where we have been now living for 2 weeks. 2 weeks and 2 days. And I am here to tell you, if you're new to the podcast, welcome. You might need to listen a few episodes back. The episode, I'll link it in the show notes. If you want to hear a little bit more about my current story and why I'm sharing what I'm sharing today, I believe it's called Letting Go of Old Dreams and Claiming New Ones. And that is exactly the state that I have been in. The last 2 years have been quite intense. It has been quite a transformation. And I followed my intuition. It did not make sense on paper. It was an expensive move. We paid double rent and mortgage. And it is far exceeding my expectations. There is not one morsel of a doubt in my mind that I made the right move, that we made the right move as a family. I have connected with people more in the last 2 weeks than I have in the last 2 years in person. And I am not exaggerating. I have gone to a concert. I have gone to a breathwork class in Boulder. I went to a sound bath on Saturday night. I have joined, this is the really fun part. So some of you know I was talking about this desire for co-housing. Co-housing? Yeah, that's right. That I had this desire for co-housing. And while we are not in a co-housing community, I have found a place called the Family Village Co-op in Boulder. And that is where I am working and taking right now both children until my oldest starts at his Waldorf pre-K next week. And it's a co-op. We all buy in, and it is like-minded moms and dads that want the village back. What? A group of them go out once a week and do a workout class and go to dinner, which I got to join in last week. And my cup is beyond full. And then on top of all of that, my neighbors are coming out of their houses to meet us. Like, we're going on walks with bikes and strollers, and people are coming out on the street and going, "Hey, you just moved in down there. We're so-and-so." And two of my neighbors, one of them, I kid you not, I hadn't met her yet, but I saw her at the sound bath, which is not, it's even more magic than it sounds, more magical than it sounds, because this is not open to public. It was called a friends and family thing. It was a soft opening that a friend of a friend invited me to. So then to see this woman there, and I walk in and I was like, are you my neighbor? She jumped up and gave me the biggest hug. And she's like, "Oh my God, I saw your husband. I haven't gotten to meet you yet." And then the one 2 doors down from her, she came out and was so excited to meet me. And she has a background in the entertainment industry in New York City and LA in fashion, and now does psychotherapy and somatic work and all of this. And she, I kid you not, was like, "Oh my gosh, we're going to be best friends." I was like, "You are speaking this Enneagram 2's love language." So this has all been in 2 weeks. I'm so grateful that I listened. In the sound bath, actually was really emotional. I cried and cried and cried, and it felt like this release. And at first there was anger at like, why the hell did we go to Castle Rock? Why did I have to go through that intense postpartum and isolation? And then after I kind of worked through the anger of it was the grief of just how hard I was kind of feeling like zoomed very far out. And actually I was feeling a little bit like older Analisa, and looking at my current self and just grieving for her and how hard it was. And then I went into the state of sort of creation. And that's where I'm meeting us today is this, I want to talk about, I'm in creation mode now. It's not the same as it was before. It's not this like building out. It's not this, reaching for the stars kind of dreams. It still is this like in and down kind of dream. But it's creating for sure. And we also just started the next round of our Soulful Ambition Circle. And it's everything. If you were like, oh crap, I missed it, we'll start the next one in January. Make sure you're on my email love letter list. You can go to analisalemming.com or click the link below. You'll also receive my main character energy practice when you sign up for that. You can't miss it if you're there. And also, if you're just thinking about it, it's only 4.5 months away. And if you're like, I definitely am joining in January, it's medicine. It is magic. It's community. It's intentional. It's a group of ambitious souls desiring to do it intentionally, whatever it is. So, and we started today. It feels like this back to school energy, first day of the circle. And also first podcast here in the new house. So I am going to invite you now. We're 6 minutes in. Let's go. I'm guessing this is maybe going to be 15 minutes. This podcast is for you. I'm not going to speak to any resistance today. Okay. We are in creation mode. If you're here or if you're like, I think I'm there. And if you find out that you're not, like if this is making you feel crunchy and you're doubting yourself or your dreams, or it's not aligning, turn it off. Go click on one of my shadow work episodes, which is most in the last like 10 episodes, or honestly, I think it's 14 episodes. So when I first started Paradox process, when I first started training in that, there was a colleague of mine there who said, I always try to gauge if my clients are in crisis or creation. And I loved that. I thought that was so genius. And then I keep expanding on that. It's like, are you in contraction or creation? And we can move between the two in a day, right? In hours, in 30 minutes, you could do a meditation and move between the two. But sometimes we're in these phases in life for a season. Maybe it has to do with our cycle or the moon cycle. So just kind of checking in on where you are. And then today, as I was thinking on this in preparing for this episode, I was like, creation or excavation? Are you like doing some deep excavating and kind of like inner healing? Is that what's happening? Or are you creating? And I think they're so connected. One is necessary for the other. We're always going to be moving in between the two. But I want to speak as one of your dream doulas. I want to be here in this moment to cheer on the part of you that has a deep desire to birth or create or express something in your life right now. As somebody who has just done that and who is now like, it's like I'm holding my newborn baby and I'm going like, oh my gosh, this is what the hard work was for. This is everything. Like, this is how I feel right now. And so I would love to. So when I say to my clients, I actually don't even remember where I first heard this. I did not make this up. But when you're in that state of creation, when you have this big longing, a great kind of signpost for this, like, am I in creation? I think I am, is when you feel like I'm on the precipice. There's something around the corner. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is, but I feel like something's coming. Oh, you in creation. I love that state. Or when you just have ideas, maybe you're working on a book, maybe you're working on a podcast, maybe you're writing play, maybe you are going head like full on towards your performing career. Maybe like this is kind of how it feels for me. It has to do with this life that I'm creating right now for myself and my family. So I have these dreams, and this song came on and I started bawling, and it was the song, I want a house with a crowded table. And I was like, oh my God, that's what I want. I want the house with the crowded table and the messiness and the noise and someone playing their guitar and the fire pit over there. And everyone is welcome and we're exchanging like big ideas and we're there for each other. Like that's what I'm birthing and desiring to, I wouldn't even say birthing, actually. I would say that's what I'm desiring to express through me is like my role in that. And that's what I'm desiring to experience in this life. And that's what I'm desiring to cultivate. So, what are you desiring? Deepest desires. Deepest desires, feel into it. You can use this podcast like a workshop. So pause it here and journal on it or meditate on it till you have your answer. Notice what comes up around it. We can be split, right? We can have like this soulful desire, and then there's tons of ego swimming around it, right? Like the ego of the fear of it, the resistance of it, the how, is it too big? Again, I'm not speaking to that today. I'm speaking to the desire. And I am here to say, like, as the doula that you are choosing to tune into right now, is that it's all welcome. It's all part of it. Like the creative process, the creation process is messy and it's rich. And that's really what we want. We really don't want everything A, handed to us, B, for it to be easy, C, for it to have no rupture or conflict or ease. And now I know some of you, if you've been in a big season of that, you're like, I know, but I would just take some. And I hear you. But we also, like, that's what we're doing here in this human classroom, this earth classroom. And so let's talk about this. Let's talk about, I want to bring us into the land of possibility. So often we get these hits or these desires or these impulses, or maybe it's been the same desire for decades, and I'm with you on that. I know that place. And it's so easy for our lizard brain to take over, or for society to take over, or maybe the culture that you're in, the culture of performers, the culture of who knows, mothers that you're swimming in, because it's different from country to country to like societal group, right? But maybe the culture that you're swimming in, other things can seep in and muck up our channel and muck up our connection to our dreams. And it's very easy to get knocked out of the land of possibility, where you're saying, well, what if this, or what if that? Or you have, the daydreams of the pictures of what's tugging at your heartstrings, of the life that you are desiring to experience and express. It is so easy to go to the what ifs. It goes wrong. What if I fail? What if I disappoint someone? What if it doesn't work? What if I don't know how? What if I'm not enough? Like, those questions are so comfortable to us. I've talked about this recently, but this idea, this understanding that our brains are brilliant computers. And it's like, think of it right now as your brain as ChatGPT. What are the prompts that you are putting into your brain? What are the problems that you're giving your brain? And I guarantee if we are not conscious of this, we all do it. It is our human nature. We are giving it like base level prompts. We're giving it lizard brain prompts. We're giving it such limited prompts, and it feels safe. And so maybe noticing like where in my life, this is another place that you could pause and journal, like where in my life, where in this equation am I giving it prompts that are way too easy for it, or are having it focus, my brain focus on something I don't want to focus on, like how hard it is, how many Sopranos there are, how I haven't booked anything in the last 5 years. And so like, and this is a great place to just get that journal or open up your note app on your phone and just start jotting down. What are the prompts you want to start giving your genius, beautiful, brilliant brain? And another word about when you start giving yourself these prompts, similarly to affirmations, and why I have thoughts and feelings about affirmations. If you're curious about those, drop me a message and we can chat. We don't necessarily want to reach for like the pinnacle of our goals and dreams if that's not where we are. We want to meet ourselves kind of like where we are and modulate to that. We want to modulate our questions to meet our energy where it is. So if you're feeling a little, I feel like I'm on the precipice, something's around the corner, I'm not sure what it is. If you're watching me, you can see that there's like a tentativeness. You can, of course, probably hear it in my voice too, but then you maybe don't want to go like, what if I win a Tony Award this year? What if maybe that feels good? So you got to really don't take my word. Don't take my way as the way. Please, God, don't do that. Try this out and see how it feels and get curious about it. Make up your own way. So I would say find the medium ramping up questions. And maybe you do want to start somewhere that's hard and ask some questions of like, what if I'm figuring it out? So I love using the what if. I think it's fun. I think it's fun, creative, playful, has a playful energy to it. And I think it's a little, it gives your critical faculty, your thinking, your logical mind, something to make it less defensive, right? So instead of going like, I'm figuring it out, then your logical brain could be like, well, you haven't figured it out yet, right? But when you say, what if I'm figuring it out? I feel like there's less noise, there's less talk back from another part of you at the same time. So what if I really am exactly where I'm supposed to be to move the next step closer to living the life I am deeply desiring? What if I'm exactly in the right place at the right time? What if I can trust that I actually have everything that I need? What if I don't know how this living situation is going to turn out? But what if it does turn out well? What if it turns out really well? What if the apartment that I'm moving into with this group of friends is the best living situation I've ever had? Maybe it is something that you're like creating. What if the ideas just start to flow? You're like sitting down to write, right? Or something, or sitting down to work on an audition, or sitting down to create something. And you're like, before you start, like, what if this is easy? And if I meet resistance, I'm playful about it. What if ideas and downloads drop in a way that they never have before? And so the thing is because a lot of times we sit down to do those things and we're like, oh, here we go. It's going to be hard. So it's just such a different way. And then start to widen it, start to broaden it, or start to make it bigger or more specific, but like start to amp up your star power, start to amp up what if I meet my best friend, like my soul sister down the street? What if I book a dream role this year? I love this one. Like, what if it all blows my own damn mind? I want to blow my own mind. Like, what if this all blows my mind? What if my life unfolds in a way that I cannot even imagine and it's better than I could even imagine? So I'm getting a little like rampagey about it. If you're into Abraham Hicks, it's like I'm doing a rampage with questions. That's one way. Just feeling the energy of that. Also, just one question. When we ask questions, this is just a fantastic, this is the only tool I'm going to share in this podcast episode, by the way. So this is it. This is the episode. We're just playing with questions to ease us into the land of possibility. When I really believe with all of my heart that most of the world is living in the land of probability, and even something else, something beyond probability, not even probability, because a lot of things people think will probably happen don't, but like a land of scarcity. Maybe that's better. Like maybe most of us live in a land of poverty and scarcity. And I don't even mean poverty necessarily financially, although it could mean that, but just like such lack and such limitations. The land of limitations. Fuck yes, I landed on it. It's like the land of limitations or the land of possibility. And we are going to vacillate between the two. But I am so devoted to being somebody who lives more and more and more and more in the land of possibility, and to be an example of that, to be in the energy of that, not in a preachy way, not in I'm just like so optimistic, but just to be in that, to see others in that place. What we focus on expands. And so using these questions, another thing about questions is a lot of us are really uncomfortable with questions. We don't like questions. We want the answers. A question comes up like, what am I supposed to do with my life? What a beautiful question to live the question. Like you could let that be the question that your brain goes to work on every day. Your beautiful computer brain that is designed to seek coherence and to seek evidence, because that's safe, is to stay the same. So if you ask it questions like, who is it that I am being called to be in this world today? What a beautiful question to pull you, to lead you into the land of possibility today. And when you think about those big dreams, goals, longings, desires, whatever word is resonating with you today, and you're in this state of creation, we want to keep coming back to the root of it. Keep coming back to the root of it, the feelings behind it. And dance between the two. Dance between the flower that you're hoping grows from your desire and the roots, and making sure the roots are solid and tended to and not rushing the bloom to come forth. And maybe you start to see it bloom and then it falls away, but it's going to come back because you keep tending to the root. And look, none of us know what the flower is going to be. Maybe it won't even be a flower. Maybe it'll be even better. Something you can't even imagine. But the more we tend to the roots, which I believe are the deep longings and desires of love, of connection, of sharing, of wisdom, of service, of whatever is like underneath the best-selling book, the Broadway show, the house with the white picket fence and the 2 children and the dog. Like there's desires underneath all of that, right? So I'll just always be reminding all of us, myself included, like go deeper, go deeper, go to the roots, go to the roots, go to the roots. And then when we do that, when we really sit with and go within, whatever that thing is, it is alive within us because we are the all of everything. We are made of it. Right? It's the drop of water that is the ocean and that has forgotten or doesn't understand that it is one with. And so then we go far beyond these external longings of I want this to be enough, or I need this to be enough, or to be validated, or even just like I have this idea and I need to write this book and put it out in the world, or I need to book that show because I have this desire and it feels so good and it wants to come through me. Yes, 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 yes. Go deeper, go deeper, go to the roots, go to the roots, go to the roots. And it's like, it's just this longing to sing. And it doesn't matter who or where or when or why or how. I just need to sing. That is like the root that we want to tend to every single day. Maybe we don't do anything to it, right? We don't water our plants every single day or give it food every day or clean the leaves every day. But we just go check. And maybe we sit and have appreciation for what's going to be coming. Oh, that is magic, y'all. If you're in creation mode, to sit with the desire and to start to feel gratitude and appreciation for what is coming is magic. Like, that's next level. Because most of us are waiting for evidence or are waiting for the thing to happen to then feel the gratitude and appreciation. But when we can sit and go, oh my gosh, I am on the precipice. Something is around the corner and I am so grateful. I am so grateful for what I cannot even see, but I know is there. That is a beautiful, powerful place to be. And then what you start to realize is in that moment, you're like, huh, nothing's changed and I feel so full. I have all that I need in this moment. And then, like the cycle, then you go into and maybe you ask a question. So what is it that I'm being called to do today? What actions from this place, filled up, appreciative, grateful, whole? And then the divine ideas will start to pop in. The people will align. Person will come in that will just seem like, oh my gosh, what a magic coincidence. And it's not a coincidence. It is a divine appointment. The book falls off the shelf. The random podcast shows up from a friend or in your feed on Instagram. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I've been thinking about and meditating on. And there it is. And that is divine. It is for you. And this is that aligning with coming into the land of possibility. And this episode is here to just serve as like, how? What is your way in? What is your way into the land of possibility more and more and more and more of the time? So using these what if questions, letting your brilliant brain be on your side, not beating ourselves up when we notice that we're giving it questions like, why is this so hard for me? Why am I so bad at this? Why can I never succeed at this? Noticing like, whoa, that's what I've been putting into my ChatGPT. Okay. And it's going to feel really uncomfortable when you start to put in different prompts. But giving ourselves the grace of a little space and a little time to play. And that's why I offer these questions, because they can be playful and gentle. And then when you're ready, you can go big or deep or wide in a really profound way with them. I am wishing you so much love. It is a joy to be your dream doula. I am honored that you're choosing to be here and continue to tune in and listen. If this served in any way, I'd love to hear from you. Shoot me a message, an email, Instagram, DM. I love voice notes over there. And as always, you can subscribe, write a review, share with a friend, tag me. It means so much and helps others find this as well, those who are meant to. I am wishing you so much love, and I will see you right back here next time on the Soulful Ambition podcast.